Alright, so today what we're going to do is we're going to take the time to do a step-by-step guide on how to replace the rear view camera on a 2012 Subaru Outback. Now this applies to 2010 to 2014 Subaru Outback or a Legacy. Now what you're going to see with the existing camera is that the lens on the camera is fogged, there's some moisture in it. There's definitely a lot of corrosion, and what you're getting on the screen on the rear view mirror is a blue screen. And you'll see when you're inspecting the camera, you'll notice that the camera is like deteriorated, it's bad, it's rusty, there's a lot of fogginess and moisture that gets into the camera lens, and this is exactly where you're going to get the blue screen, where the camera, rear view camera screen typically shows up. Alright, so let's get right to it. So you're going to have to remove the body panels on the rear gate in this particular order. First, you remove the one that's closest to the third brake light. Second, you remove the left and right sides of the pillars. And then the third one is the larger panel that's on the back panel. So the first one you have to remove is this one near the brake light. This is the first body panel that you have to pluck off the car. You don't need any special tools or anything like that. You just literally pull it from the car and you'll hear the pins detach from the body. Then you want to just remove the side pillars, the body panels that are on the sides, left and right. Those are easy. Those you're going to just remove by plucking them off. There's two pins and then a guide pin on the ends of them, but it's very straightforward to do, and if you're using too much force, then something's wrong. But take your time, get your fingers in behind the body panel and start removing them from the car. Alright, so let's get to the largest panel, the body panel that's occupying most of the real estate on the back gate is this one, and this has just a bunch of pull pins or compression pins on it. You can see there's probably like, what, I don't know, 13 of them there. But the one thing you have to remember on this one is that there is a screw holding it in place, and you have to look behind the pull handle. There's a little door, a little hatch there. You gotta just open that up and then unscrew the screw that's in that location, and that's how you're gonna remove that last body panel. Alright, so now that everything is off the car, all the body panels are off the car, you're going to get to see how the rear gate is assembled. And what we're trying to do here is we're trying to remove a specific part of the tailgate on the body side so that you can access the camera. Now this part of the tailgate is what you're trying to remove, right? You're trying to like open it up so that you can get access to the camera. And here's a schematic that kind of shows you that it can be disassembled, right? There's like some screws, nuts that are actually holding it into place. And that's what you're trying to loosen up so that you can open it, bring it away from the body panel, and gain access to the camera. Alright, so these are the nuts that you're going to find on the back side of the body panel, so you can remove or actually pull that body panel away on the back side. And they're 5/16 in size. Okay, so all you're going to need to do is find a deep socket, 5/16 socket, and you'll be able to access all of these. Right, I use the 3/8 inch socket wrench. Alright, so take your time walking yourself through this. You're going to find there's 13, I believe, nuts that are holding this panel in place, and they're strategically placed, right? There's like a few on either side, and they're kind of symmetrical, so if there's 3 on one side, there's typically 3 on the other side, okay? Some of them are a little bit well hidden, so you're going to have to use it, a flashlight and kind of navigate through it. There's one near the motor, the windshield wiper motor that's hidden, but you can gain access to it. It's not a problem. You just got to take your time and be patient. Alright, so this is the back side of the camera, and these are the 2 bolts that are holding it in place, okay? So pay attention to that, see how it's installed. You're going to see the wiring harness and the model number of the camera that's on the wiring harness. You're going to notice that the last letter is A. The one I bought has the last letter of B, so it must be the newer model. Pay attention to the pins before you plug anything in. Just make sure it's the right pin configuration. And then what you could do is you could just dry fit it, try the rear view camera and make sure it works before you assemble everything back into position. And then this right here is the mounting bracket for the pin. Alright, so on this camera, this is the new camera, you can see the model number, the last letter is B, where on the one that's on the car, the last letter was A. I was a little nervous about it, so I bought two cameras. One was an aftermarket camera, one was this Subaru camera. The Subaru camera was definitely made a little bit better. The quality was better, the lens was a little bit bigger, looked like it had a wider field of view. The waterproofing on it, everything was just built a little bit better. The aftermarket, this is the harness on the aftermarket. It didn't come with the pin to actually mount it to the car. You can see how the Subaru one did and the aftermarket one didn't. So there's a couple things that made me decide, you know what, even though it was triple the price, and I'll put all the links down below, I decided to use the Subaru model. So go for the Subaru, that's my recommendation. I'll put the links down below. Now, these are all the nuts that I removed from the vehicle to remove or to pull that panel back so you have access to the camera. You're gonna have to be patient, you know, I mean, it was a little tough to do, but once you do, you'll gain access to the camera. And you can see the camera actually has like two little tabs that actually lock it into place on the body, so just be mindful of that. When I removed the old camera, the plastic tabs there were so brittle they actually broke off the car. So don't worry about it. The new one's going to be a little bit more flexible. When you put the new one in, just place it back into position and the tabs will just engage with the body panel. Alright, so now the camera is back into position. You can kind of align that exterior body panel back onto the second part of the body, and just make sure everything is aligned properly. Before you bolt everything back together, just start the car up, or actually just turn it on and put it in reverse with your foot on the brake pedal, of course, and just make sure that the camera is working. Once it's working and you know it's working, you can put all these bolts back together and reassemble everything exactly in the opposite way that you removed everything. Alright, so once you confirm that everything's working, that you can put all the body panels back on, and then put the body panels back on in reverse order. So start with the screw that was holding on the large body panel that's closest to the bottom of the gate. Again, just make sure that you put the screw in, and it'll help you actually, because it'll guide everything into position. It'll hold that body panel up while you're pushing the entire panel back into position. And again, this thing's got like 15 pins in it, so just make sure that you take your time to push on it and make sure that it engages into the body itself. Now, I forgot to mention during the removal process that large body panel actually has these little push pins on either side at the tops closest to the third brake light. So there's a little screw and then a little pin that goes right into it. They're plastic, so be careful. They can break, so take your time. But this is what they look like. Alright guys, so we're basically done. So camera's installed, working, tested everything, seems to be working perfectly, just like new. So hope you enjoyed this, hope you learned something from this. I'm going to put a couple other links of some other videos that I found online on YouTube that could be helpful. Please like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.